routine night patrol. The night began like any other, with my partner, a seasoned officer of 30, and I, a younger rookie at 25, embarking on our routine patrol through the quiet streets of Gallenberg. Gallenberg, a small town nestled in the hills, had its own unique charm and quirks. The streets were lined with quaint shops and cozy cafes, and the tight-knit community had a reputation for looking out for one another. As we cruised along, the dim glow of streetlights illuminating our path, my partner leaned over and spoke to me in a hushed tone, his voice carrying a sense of caution. "Keep your wits about you," he said, his eyes scanning the darkened hillsides. "This is hilly terrain, and we've had our fair share of run-ins with troublemakers who harbor a grudge against law enforcement. Stay alert." His words resonated with me as he recounted past encounters with criminals who had a vendetta against the police. It was a sobering reminder of the dangers that lurked in the shadows of our seemingly peaceful town. As we continued our patrol, I couldn't help but feel a sense of unease lingering in the air, a silent reminder of the threats that lay just beyond the reach of our headlights. To lighten the mood, we cracked jokes and shared anecdotes, sipping on Coca-Cola to keep us alert and energized during the long night ahead. Despite the seriousness of our mission, we found moments of camaraderie and laughter, our banter serving as a welcome distraction from the tension that hung in the air. As we navigated the winding roads of Gallenberg, our laughter echoed through the quiet streets, a testament to the bond that united us as partners in law enforcement. As we pulled into a gas station to refuel our patrol cars, my partner, a seasoned officer of 30, reminded me of the suspicious activity reported in the area the week before. "Hey, keep an eye out," he said, nodding towards the surrounding. "We got a heads up about some shady stuff happening around here recently." Feeling a sense of caution, we proceeded with our tasks, refueling the patrol cars and grabbing a quick bite to eat. As we entered the gas station's shop, I noticed a group of towering figures loitering near the snack aisle. My partner caught my glance and whispered, "Ignore them for now. Let's try to de-escalate the situation and keep our distance." Despite the unsettling presence of the individuals, we focused on our tasks, trying to maintain a sense of normalcy. However, the tension in the air was palpable, and I couldn't shake the feeling that trouble was brewing. As we moved through the shop, one of the figures caught my eye and flashed a chilling smile in my direction. It sent a shiver down my spine, the eerie grin hinting at something sinister beneath the surface. I exchanged a quick glance with my partner, and we both knew that this encounter was far from ordinary. Little did we know this unsettling encounter would soon escalate into a dangerous confrontation, testing our resolve in the face of danger. My partner and I stood a little farther from the gas station, our patrol cars parked nearby, as we chilled out during the last hours of our shift. The dim glow of the gas station's lights cast an eerie ambience around us, illuminating the figures of the sketchy guys who also stood a little distance away. At first, they appeared to be just friends, chatting casually amongst themselves. But then, suddenly, one of them snatched something from another and made a dash for a nearby car. The others quickly followed suit, jumping into their vehicles and speeding off into the night. Without hesitation, my partner and I sprang into action, our patrol cars roaring to life as we gave chase. The adrenaline surged through my veins as we raced through the dark, winding roads of Gallenberg, our headlights cutting through the night like a beacon of justice. The urgency of the situation was palpable as we pursued the suspects, determined to bring them to justice and ensure the safety of our town. As we pursued the suspects, I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. The winding roads led us deeper into the heart of the forest, far from the safety of the town's lights. The darkness seemed to swallow us whole, enveloping us in its inky embrace. The suspects were driving suspiciously, weaving through the roads as if trying to deceive us. Despite their attempts to shake us off their trail, my partner and I remained steadfast in our pursuit. Our focus was solely on the security of our town, and we were determined to apprehend these individuals no matter what. As we pressed on, the forest around us grew denser, the towering trees casting eerie shadows that danced in the glow of our headlights. The air was thick with the scent of pine and damp earth, adding to the sense of unease that settled over me. like a suffocating blanket. Despite the uncertainty of our surroundings and the relentless pursuit of the suspect, we pressed on, navigating the twists and turns of the forest roads with determination. Little did we know, our relentless pursuit would soon lead us into the heart of darkness, where the true dangers of the night awaited. It was then that we realized we had fallen into a trap. Even before the trap was sprung, I had a sinking feeling that something was amiss. I mentioned my concerns to my partner, but he reassured me, urging us to press on and fulfill our duty as officers of the law. As we continued down the dark forest roads, the feeling of unease only grew stronger. And then, it happened. We found ourselves surrounded, our patrol cars boxed in by other vehicles that had seemingly appeared out of nowhere. I glanced at my partner, his expression mirroring my own fear and uncertainty. We were outnumbered, outgunned, and completely at the mercy of our adversaries. Panic surged through me as I realized the gravity of our situation. The gang that had ensnared us wielded weapons of all kinds: baseball bats, revolvers, and an air of menacing confidence. I wasted no time in calling for backup, my fingers trembling as I punched in the distress signal. The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. We were in over our heads, facing off against a dangerous foe with no backup in sight. But even in the face of overwhelming odds, we stood our ground, determined to fight tooth and nail for our survival. Amidst the chaos of the firefight, I seized a moment to assess our situation. I noticed that the suspects were hesitant to approach us directly, their movements cautious as if they were wary of something. Then it hit me, the large rifle we carried with us. Its imposing presence seemed to instill a sense of fear in our adversaries, keeping them at bay and giving us a small advantage in the desperate struggle. With this realization, I called out to my partner, urging him to keep the suspects at a distance while we awaited backup. We positioned ourselves strategically, using the cover of our patrol cars to shield us from incoming fire. The tension in the air was palpable, but we held our ground, determined to defend ourselves until reinforcements arrived. As the minutes stretched into what felt like an eternity, we continued to exchange gunfire with the suspects, our determination unwavering despite our injuries. And finally, just when it seemed like all hope was lost, the sound of approaching sirens shattered the silence, signaling the arrival of backup. With a sense of relief, we redoubled our efforts, knowing that help was at hand. The suspects, realizing that the odds were no longer in their favor, began to retreat, disappearing into the darkness as quickly as they had appeared. And as our fellow officers rushed to our aid, I couldn't help but feel a surge of gratitude for their timely intervention, knowing that without their support, our desperate struggle could have ended much differently. Instantly, the dynamic of the confrontation shifted as our reinforcements engaged the suspects in a fierce firefight. The night erupted with the sounds of gunfire and shouting, the darkness punctuated by the flashing lights of police cars and the glow of muzzle flashes. As the chaos unfolded around us, I couldn't help but feel a surge of gratitude towards our colleagues. They had come to our rescue in our darkest hour, risking their own lives to save ours. Their swift and decisive action bolstered our spirits, fueling our determination to overcome the odds stacked against us. Support arrived not only in the form of additional officers, but also medics who tended to our injuries with speed and precision. The tide of the battle began to turn in our favor, and the suspects, realizing they were outnumbered and outgunned, began to falter. In the ensuing chaos, some of the gangsters managed to flee into the night, their retreat a testament to the overwhelming force of our response. However, not all of them were so lucky. In the exchange of gunfire, several of the suspects were apprehended, and tragically, one of them succumbed to their injuries. As the dust settled and the adrenaline began to fade, a somber sense of relief washed over me. Though the ordeal had taken its toll, we had emerged victorious, thanks to the unwavering bravery and selflessness of our fellow officers. And as we regrouped to assess the aftermath, I couldn't help but feel a profound sense of pride in the resilience of our team and the bonds that held us together in the face of adversity. Despite the pain throbbing in my bicep and the searing sensation in my leg from the gangsters' bullets, I stood tall, knowing that alongside my partner, we had confronted danger head-on and emerged stronger for it.